Hi, y'all. Welcome in. Sorry for being a little late, but we are. Um, I wanted to set some stuff up on the YouTube end because what I'm gonna start doing is simulcasting this series I'm doing on YouTube. So um, when we do OOTP streams, they will be done on YouTube as well. That way, I can save the VOD and potentially make a YouTube channel out of it. Maybe make actual YouTube videos out of it. Um, and then what I'm thinking about doing is we're gonna do a short stream today, but I'm gonna do a longer stream tomorrow, and we will stream through some more Stardew, and I might simulcast that on TikTok. So I'm gonna do more simulcasting. Um, I got to set up the TikTok stuff today, I think. So I may have to reset it up because I haven't streamed on my TikTok channel in a while. Anyways, we're here. Appreciate y'all coming in today. We're gonna kind of speed run through the playoffs a little bit. We're gonna kind of recap what we did. Year one was kind of a mess for us. We didn't play well. Obviously, we went 56 and 106, last place by 22 games. So we were bad. We were actually in line with the other three expansion teams. So 1969 was a huge expansion year in Major League Baseball. So we had four teams added. We were the worst. We weren't the worst expansion team. That goes to the Kansas City Royals. Um, let me get this off. I got a couple things on my screen that are annoying me. Okay, there we go. So we finished 56 and 106, 20 games out. The Padres were 62 and 100, 16 games out of their division. Um, and then out west, the Pilots were a more respectable 65 and 97, and then the Royals were 51 and 111. Now, unfortunately for the teams for the AL East, they did not have an expansion team, so they were pretty much all vying for the same space. But anyways, we can kind of look. We kind of looked at last time the end of the season numbers. We were pretty much dead last in most categories, as you can see. Pretty much dead last in offense and at or near the bottom in defense and pitching. We were pretty good actually in defensive efficiency, middle of the pack, zone rating. So that's something we could improve on. As you can see here, oh shit, it's doing that thing again where it's not. I don't. How did I fix this last time? I think I just turned it off and turned it on again. Let me see if this works. Shit. Y'all can't see anything. Let me restart the game real fast. Okay. I gotta restart the game. Unfortunately, none of my stuff set. Okay, there we go. We'll continue our Expos franchise. Hopefully this... Okay, it looks like it at least. My screen froze. So... Looking at the standings, we'll just take a second look. Yankees 73-80, or these are the two expansion teams here. Pilots lost 97, the Royals lost 111, the Padres lost 100, and we lost 106. So we all played very poor baseball. But looking at us by month, we were pretty much at the bottom in most stats, except for, oddly enough, defensive efficiency, base running, and walks. And the walks being fourth did not lead to a high on base because we had such a low batting average. I wonder what... I mean, a 212 batting average is abysmal. 315 slugging is also abysmal. For context, by the way, 315 slugging, the batting champion in the American League was Rod Carew. He hit 350. So Rod Carew had a better batting average than we did slugging percentage. The owner's pissed, as he should be, but you know what? What did he expect? He's 65. He's probably going to die soon, right? I gotta do something real quick, y'all. I'll be back in just a second. Um, so my commode does this thing, y'all, where it doesn't want to, like, it just wants to keep refilling, and it'll refill forever if you don't let it. All right, so we're gonna go ahead. We're in October 3rd. We're gonna finish today. We're gonna go ahead and sim through the playoffs. So we're gonna go to playoff coverage. If in these days we did not have the wild card or anything like that, so it went straight to the LCS. Remember, the wild card was added in 1993, 94, I think, was the first year. Was it 94 or 9? Technically, it was 95, so it would have been 94, I think. But, or actually, it may have been 95. May have been 95. I think that was one of the things they did to increase interest in baseball after the players' strike. So in those days, we have two. We have two. We just have Championship Series and World Series. So we're down here. We have first series. We'll have St. Louis against Houston. Houston in those days was in the National League. They joined the American League, I think, in what year was that? It wasn't. I don't remember what year it was, but well, it was after 2005. So it was pretty recent. I don't remember when the Astros joined in AL, but they're in the AL now. So as you can see, for the season, both first place winners, obviously. Houston, a slightly better record at 96 and 66. Runs scored, Houston is first, which is weird. They play in Houston Astrodome. And then in first, they're fifth in runs allowed. The Cardinals are a little more pedestrian, sixth and fourth. One would expect the Astros to be the favorite. Let's look at their team history. Obviously, to this point, this is Houston's, I think, maybe 10th season or so. I think they were a 1962 expansion team. The Cardinals go back to the American Association all the way back in the 1880s. They were the St. Louis Browns, I believe. By the way, I am reading a book about the American Association right now. So, okay, so here we have this theory. I don't see how. Okay, so they were 500 against each other. So this could be a competitive series. So we'll just simulate game one. Houston wins 7-1. It looks like Larry Durker outpitched Reggie Cleveland. We'll finish today. We'll watch game two, and then we'll kind of look at. Okay, so this series is evened up at 1, so that means that St. Louis stole home field advantage. Over here on the AL side, we have the Boston Red Sox and the Oakland Athletics. The Oakland Athletics were probably by far the best team in baseball, it looks like. 108 wins, 54 losses. They scored 792 runs, gave up 583, both second. The Boston Red Sox, 812 runs scored, 710 allowed. So they were very much led by their hitting. This is another series. Oakland took 8 of 12 during the year. So Oakland probably, one would surmise they would be probably heavy favorites here. Definitely have a 14-game advantage in this division. So we'll go ahead and simulate game one. Oakland wins 4-2. Jim Brewer defeats Sparky Lyle. So that must have been a late inning game for them. So we will finish today. We'll move on to game 2 in this series. Blue Moon Odom, who is an interesting name, went 13-8 with a save. Looks like he joined the rotation late in the year. We'll go ahead and sim game 2. And both series are now tied at 1 as Boston crushed Oakland here. So we will now go finish today, and now we'll slide over to game 3 on the AL side, or the NL side. Steve Carlton going up against Don Wilson. Houston wins that one 8-2. So another Carlton kind of got roughed up a little bit. 10 base runners in 7 innings, gave up 2 runs. Looks like Jerry Roos, the 20-year-old prospect, kind of got hit around a little bit in the ninth inning. Yep, 5-run ninth did this game in. And Houston has a 2-1 lead. Oh, and this is a 5-game series, so this is an elimination game for them. I guess I've forgotten those days they had 5. I think this was also the first year where they had a championship series. I think this was one of the, if I'm not mistaken, they until 1968 the first place teams just played in the World Series. So this is actually a new thing for baseball. So we'll simulate this game 3. Oakland takes this one 5-4. And on the American League or National League side, Houston has a chance to advance to the World Series, and they lose to Bob Gibson. And now we will have a deciding game 5 in Houston, game 4 goes to another 5-game series. So Boston wins 8-4. So we'll finish today. No. All right, so we have a game 5, Dick Hughes against Larry Dierker. And it goes to St. Louis. So St. Louis, mild upset against the Houston Astros. Winning 3-2. And then we will go ahead and sim game 5 here. And it'll be going to Oakland. So Oakland against St. Louis. 2 legacy franchises in baseball going at it. Boston once again fails in the playoffs. So we'll go ahead and sim through. Now we have the World Series, and obviously these teams did not play because in these days interleague play was not a thing. Interleague play did not come out until the mid-90s. So I still, my boomer take with baseball is that interleague play is a mistake. I really think the league should be separate, and they should never play until the World Series. That's just my boomer take that I have about baseball. I personally think that the World Series should be 2 teams that don't play all year. So we'll go ahead and sim through the World Series. Based on matchups, it looks like Oakland second in runs scored and runs allowed, 108 wins. Probably the favorites here against St. Louis, who won 95 games. They're also very mediocre on the road. So it does look like, So it is 4 games in Oakland. I don't know how they determine home field advantage. It used to alternate years before they did a very smart thing and decided it on team record. It used to just alternate years. So, believe in odd number years it was in the AL park or in the NL park. In even number years is in the AL park. Obviously, this is an odd number year, so it would be in St. Louis, but we're in Oakland. So I must have changed the logic here. Hopefully, it is by team record. That'd be the smart way to do it. So we'll sim game 1. St. Louis comes out. Steve Carlton out pitches Blue Moon Odom, who is 0-2 in the playoffs. Game 2, I will give the advantage to Bob Gibson here, and that is true as he pitches a shutout. I'm betting he went 8 innings. He threw 141 pitches. You don't see that today. So St. Louis comes out to a 2-0 lead. They took both games in Oakland, so they're coming home with home field advantage, having won the first 2 in Oakland. A bit of an upset here. We'll go ahead and load this up. I don't know why. Okay. Oh wait, we got a thing here. I got an email. Okay, so we're looking at the draft pool now. Dwight Evans is the top prospect, 17-year-old right fielder. Not great attributes, but we kind of know that based on his real life stats. Hall of Famer, obviously played many years. As you can see, has elite attributes and a good corner outfielder. All his bad personalities have to do with his pretty much inability to be a good people person. Bill Madlock, Darrell Porter, Doug DeCinces, Dave Parker, Dave Kingman, Brian Dowman, Rick Ruschel, Chris Spear, John Denny. I think I have the number. I think I had the number 2 overall pick. Yeah, I had the number 1 overall pick. They want me to take Darrell Porter, who I will not take because of his inability to be a defensive catcher. He's from Joplin, Missouri. We will not take that one. So that's how they mock us. We do have the number 1 overall pick. I really don't know why. Yeah, so we had the number 1 pick. Looks like there's some comp picks in here for some reason. I don't know why there's comp picks in this draft. I don't know if it is a 47-round draft, so we'll be able to really beef up the infield. So let's see. Bill Madlock, who is a third baseman, high work ethic, not a great defender, not necessarily the best power hitter. He was a solid player for many years for Detroit. He may end up playing third base as his best position. Actually, he probably end up playing at 5'11", probably not much of a third baseman either. Darrell Porter, another 5-star candidate, high scouting accuracy, not a great defensive catcher. That's who we got mocked. Doug DeCinces, might be my personal favorite. Above average power numbers, good base runner, solid corner infielder. Probably would have to work on his defense a little bit. Maybe a good first baseman at 6'2", 195. He's got the frame to play first base. Dave Parker, Hall of Famer, high work ethic. Not really adaptable, but we can put him in left field. See, Dave Kingman, we'll not consider him. Brian Downing, the catcher, good utility guy. I don't love his offense, and he doesn't have much personality. Rick Ruschel, the pitcher, probably big league ready, but low intelligence. He's probably the most big league ready at 20 years old. Chris Spear, next pick. Yep. And John Denny. The draft, I don't think, is until middle of April, November, I think. So we're going to look at that later. We'll look at that once the season ends. My personal favorite in that pick would probably be either. But we'll go here. So, kind of a shocker here in the 1969 World Series as the Cardinals have jumped out to a 2-0 lead on the Oakland Athletics. And they now have a 3-0 lead as Hughes defeats Nash. Dick Hughes defeats Jim Nash in Game 3. Okay. And then let's see. Let's review the draft pool. Let's review the draft pool real fast. We kind of looked at it earlier. We can go by potential here. My scouting director does not personally like a whole lot of these guys. Juan Beniquez looks like is the top overall player here from University of Toledo. It looks like he ended up being a solid player, but not one I would probably want to take here. That's interesting. I think my scout sucks, to be honest. All right, well, we'll probably better scouting accuracy on them guys later. So let's finish today. We have a Game 4 in St. Louis. And going for the sweep. Yep, so kind of a shocker here, to be honest. We have a sweep in the World Series. St. Louis swept the Oakland A's. 108 wins out in the World Series, being swept by the Cardinals. They are the World Series champions. Who actually won the 1969 World Series? How accurate are we here to baseball history? I could look this up, but... Oh, shit. Okay, this was the team of death. Okay, never mind. I know who... In actuality, the New York Mets won the 1969 World Series. That was the much ballyhooed. I should have known that, but I just brain farted. The amazing Mets. In this run, they went. They finished in second. They actually won 94 games. They just finished a game out of the Cardinals. Can we look like... Yeah, so... Yeah, so we'll go ahead and kind of sim through to the offseason. And we'll probably have to make some moves to get better. We got to get better. We made some trades during the year to kind of beef up our farm system a little bit. And we'll see how that goes as we go through our run here. All right. We know we got... Okay, so... We got a budget. We have $3.2 million. We have a $2.6 million payroll. Gene Garber's the 4th overall prospect. This is the end of season scouting report. We have the 7th overall farm system with 5 top 80, 5 prospects in the top 80. And now we can open up the development facilities. So if we'll go to player development, practice facility, we can now develop some of our players. So what I want to do is we got 5 slots open. First thing I want to do is look at some of the guys who probably need to develop a little bit. Like I want to take guys. All right, we're gonna put Bobby Brooks in. What can we work on with Bobby Brooks? His big thing I want to develop with him would want to be either contact or power. We don't need to improve anything with like base running. I do want to improve his quality of contact. That would be his power, I think, right? I don't know. Contact. So we're gonna select this. Okay. We're gonna have that going. I'd rather choose guys with high work. Andy Etchenberry, let's improve his offense. Again, we're gonna go quality of contact. We're shooting for the moon on this. These guys are both good defensively. Let's see. I would rather pick guys who are already here, and I would rather also choose guys with already high work ethic, because I'm spitballing here, but I think they're more likely to get something out of the development lab than say someone with low work ethic, or no work ethic. So, like for instance, Danny Walton does not have any noticeable work ethic. I would like to put him through it. So that's what we'll do. We'll first look at least some of these 2 stars. We don't have a lot of like Rick Blott, right? I wanted to get him. Let's develop his offense, right? So we're gonna get him going on like we can get his either power or like. I feel like in these days, contact matters, right? So we're doing quality of contact. We're putting our hitting coach under a lot of strain. Sal Campisi, he's 27. We don't want to put him through anything. Rick Blott is 22. So we want to get younger guys in too. Tony Cloninger, Rule 5 pick. He is. We got the option to keep him around. Let's go down here though. Let's not worry about too many of the pure 2-star players. We did put Rick Blott in there but what about Ed Figueroa? Right, we picked him up in a trade. Let's see, Tim Foley. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Cesar Geronimo. Let's go ahead and put Cesar Geronimo in, and we gotta upgrade his something, right? We're gonna go ahead and get him some contact going. He's someone like if he could develop anything here, like he's already an elite defender, an elite base runner. We really need to get his offense going to meet his 2.5 star potential. He is let's see, Aurelio Lopez, Darrell Thomas, high work ethic. He was our pick last year. I want to put him in there. We'll get him going on, again, something he can develop is power. So we're going to go with, actually, you know what? We might try to improve him defensively in center. He's only a 50 overall in center. His contact numbers are at least average. So I'm going to improve his defense in center field. And I realize right now that we're kind of, and then Tom Walker does not have any noticeable things either. So we got to get some like. So those are the players that we're going to kind of take a look at, and then let's take. I want to see who else has any sort of development left. Joe who does, but and then now we can take a look at some of these. Let's take a look at our prospects now, because now we can pick one prospect and kind of pick him to develop. Tommy Cruz. No, he's not there. What about? We've looked at him. He's kind of adaptable. We got. What about Don Hood? We'll develop Don Hood a little bit. Let's see what we can. He's really got to work on maybe his stuff control. So we'll get him on movement. We'll let him improve his movement. So we got our development lab ready. We got our development lab ready. So let's see what awards we can vote for. I really don't care about this, so we will not do it that way. I kind of don't care. Check development complex. We just did that. So we're going to go ahead and see. Let's look at kind of the offseason. The draft is November 15th. So let's take a look at offseason center. Free agents. Not a lot here right now. These are all pitchers, all players. No one who's going to have an impact on our team is really in the free agent pool. So free agency again was not really a thing. So we're going to take a look at the trading block now. There's no one on the trading block. So right now our best bet is just kind of wait it out a little bit. So we'll go ahead and sim a few days. All right, so now we do have a trading block developed. Tito Francona. We could bring him in, but he's 35. He's a first baseman. We don't really want to go there. Jim Cott, if we needed a starting pitcher, could be a potential option for us. He's a little on the old side. He makes $222,000. That's kind of on the high end for us. So, and we'll also check the waiver wire and free agents again. I'm kind of looking. We're going to kind of watch his things like Hawks, I think. Eddie Matthews is now on the block. Could be a potential trade option for us. OSA doesn't like him as much as our scout does. He wasn't a particularly great player with the Padres last year. He might be about to retire, so we may hold off on trading him. So we'll go ahead and we'll sim through here. All right, Andy Etchenberry won a Gold Glove at catcher. So we got our first Gold Glove award. Let's take a look at those award winners if we can. I don't really know how to do that. Let's go to League News. Oh, here we go. Woody Fryman, Andy Etchbarren, Ernie Banks won at first base, Bobby Knoop at second, Doug Radler, Mark Bellinger, Dick Allen, Tommy Agee, and Roberto Clemente. Here are a bunch of names I don't recognize. George Stone, Carlton Fisk for Boston, Doug Mincher, Gene Alley, Darrell Evans, Bert Campaneris, Danny Carter, Victor Davillo, and Mike Hagan. So we did have a Gold Glove winner. Andy Etchenberry won a Gold Glove. So we'll go ahead and look at the reliever of the year. That went to Phil Regan of the Cardinals, who had pitched. He beat out Cecil Upshaw and Ron Taylor. He went 11-8 with 23 saves, an ERA of 3, had 5 Ks per 9 with 1 walk allowed. He gave up just 5 home runs in 100 innings. That is pretty good. He not particularly. Yep. Going on to the next day. The Platinum Sticks and the Silver Sluggers. Ken Brett of Boston. Ray Fosse. Carlos May. Rod Carew, who won the batting title. Darrell Evans. Rico Petrocelli. Carl Yastrzemski. Reggie Smith. Frank Robinson. In right field? Interesting. Thought he played. Fair enough. And then in the National League, Rick Wise of Philly, Johnny Bench, Nate Colbert, Joe Morgan, Ron Santo, Don Money, Dick Allen, Willie Mays, and Bobby Bonds. Okay. Going back. Rookie of the year in the NL was Bert Blyleven. No shocker there. 8 wins, 15-12, 3.15 ERA in 274 innings. He had 248 strikeouts. Led the league in games started. Very good pitcher for a rookie at 18. Hal McRae, Mike Anderson, Tom Bradley. Hal McRae had a very good year for Cincinnati. 280, 351, 435, 4 wins by replacement with 14 homers. For some reason, we don't get to see the other one. Okay. Managers, Bob Kennedy in the AL and Schlottendice. And today we'll have the Cy Young, and it goes to Steve Carlton. No shock there. 16-10, ERA of 2.94, 269 innings, 297 strikeouts to lead the National League. Almost 10 wins above replacement. He beat out Don Sutton and Bob Gibson. Don Sutton went 13-12 for the Dodgers with in 35 starts, almost 300 innings, 7 Ks per 9. A little better ERA. Then Bob Gibson down here at 19-8. He led the National League in wins with 19. 34 starts, 275 innings, just 220 hits allowed. 2.9. He was right there in war with 7-8. And then tomorrow we'll have the MVP. Ray Fosse won the AL Rookie of the Year, by the way. Yep. Rod Carew was the AL MVP, and the NL MVP was Bobby Bonds. Bobby Bonds had 9 wins above replacement, 200 hits, 28 homers, 98 RBI. He had 153 strikeouts, 32 steals, 944 OPS to lead. Nate Colbert of Houston, Dick Allen Bobby Tolan and Johnny Bench. And then in the AL, it was Rod Carew of Minnesota, 357 average, 10.5 WAR at second base, 230 hits, 47 doubles and 11 triples, 15 home runs. He struck out 57 times in almost 700 plate appearances. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and power through. We will now take a look at the trading block with all the awards now being. Norm Cash is available. We're not going to make a move for him. I think these players are largely unattainable for us. Maybe we pick up Steve Hamilton, might be a good option. The knuckleballer reliever. Not much of a starter. I do worry about the control here. At 33 years old, making $75K ain't that bad. But as far as like immediate needs for us, let's look at our player list. We're fine at catcher. We have Andy Etchenberry, who just won a Gold Glove. We're going to try to improve him a little bit. We do have first base. We're fine with Bill Sudeikis. We're kind of hopefully get him going. Middle infield, second base. That's probably what we need to take a look at some guys. Gene Michael, Woody Held, Bob Heiss, Ron Dunn. A bunch of guys who are nondescript. Shortstop, same idea here. We have Tim Foley, who played a little bit for us. He hit 333. He is 18, so he could very well play for us next year, even though he's only 2 stars. But he's not much of a hitter. But he is a very good defender. Third base, we could slide Danny Walton in at third, but I'm really liking him better in right field. He is only average offensively. Unfortunately, his offense did not develop last year as much as we would have liked. Outfield, Joe LeHood and Danny Walton, and we're hoping that Cesar Geronimo or Daryl Thomas develop. Daryl Thomas was our first-round pick. He had a solid 18 plate appearances. He does have high work ethic, so we're hoping he can develop on those numbers. So obviously middle infield might be a need for us. So we're going to look at second base. Dennis Menke here. He's disruptive, so he probably would not be a good addition to a rebuilding club as we are. So we will not take him on. As we look down through the list, Sam Bowens, who is 30. Bit of a slow learner, but he can play second at a fairly high level. Unfortunately, he's not much of a power. He's not much of an offensive player, which we probably need because we are struggling offensively. We could trade for Dick Schofield again. We traded him away at the middle of 1969, but he is 34. So if we bring him back, it'll just be like a one-year thing. He'll probably end up playing second base for us again. Ted Sizemore, contact hitter, okay defender, but he has very bad personality traits. Again, we're a rebuilding team, so we can't have risk to clubhouse chemistry here. I kind of want to go to the draft, and so looking at the shortstop positions, kind of the same thing. There's not a natural shortstop here. There's not really a natural shortstop. Jimmy Stewart could be a good option. He's an average contact hitter. So we'll kind of look at what the draft gets us. And what we'll do is I want to see something real fast. I want to make sure that my, yeah, okay, good. Nice. I just want to make sure my stream is actually going on YouTube. Okay. Okay, so I don't really love the infield options right now, so we'll go ahead and sim through to the draft. We could also use pitching. So Jim Bunning's available. He's a 2.5-star prospect or 2.5-star player. Fly ball pitcher may not work in our park, but he does know how to limit hits. But he's also 38, so chances are good his best days are way behind him. So we'll go ahead and sim a few days. We'll just go ahead and sim to Monday the 10th. Trade block hasn't really changed much. We're not trying to make too many moves here. We'll probably go ahead and do the draft. Again, I'm looking at the trading block. I don't really like any of these options. As of right now, Don Mincher could be a good get for us, but again, at 31, I think I would have to give up a little bit for him. But he does have some good attributes that we could work with. But we'll go ahead and all right. So we are going to start the first year draft, and that's kind of so this is the Juan Beniquez is the top overall player. He's got a high work ethic, low financial ambition, very good speed. I don't love him as a corner outfield prospect, so I'm going to probably shoo off from drafting him. Dave Parker is probably the obvious pick here. Looks like we're going to be running ads here in about 5 minutes on the Twitch side. So let's see. Doug DeCences is a player I like at third. Ended up being a decent player. But yeah. Let's check in on our player development right now. Practice facility. We got some players frustrated, a couple on track. They've still got a lot of time left. Daryl Thomas is kind of frustrated with his abilities in center field right now. But we're going to go ahead and let's take a look before we draft at the market for trades. Looks like we've got some good options here for us. Maybe Tony Gonzalez might be available. He could be an option for us as a backup corner outfield, low power type. As long as I don't have to give up too much. These players are on the older side. I would like to make some trades for some prospects because that's kind of my focus here is building up the farm system. So as far as age goes, it looks like we could put Steve Barber, but he's only a 2-star player. He was 5-15 with an ERA in the 4s and only had as many walks as strikeouts. We could take a look at him as a potential kind of trade deal. Ray Culp is also one at 28. Not really much left for him. He's got a good pitch mix, but he's going to give up his share of home runs and walks. He had 18 losses to lead the National League. So, looking at ages, like, yeah, Barber, Belinsky, O'Toole, another trade potential, but he's only a star and a half player, so he's not really going to be someone we're going to count on. Most of our players that are Clyde Wright, 28-year-old reliever, probably another trade candidate. But again, it's a reliever in 1970, so we're not really. Yeah, I personally would like to see Gene Garber develop a little bit more. Um, Also want to see kind of rosters and transactions. Oh, we have a AAA team now, y'all. We do have a AAA team. Um, so that'll be the other thing we'll have to do is we have a full minor league team. So we'll have to get some players developed for that. Um, I wonder why my bot isn't working on YouTube. Maybe I'll fix that during the ad. We are about to head up with some ads, so I'm kind of stalling a bit. So we didn't really accomplish much in the first hour. We kind of set up the offseason a little bit. We're going to try to improve our middle infield defense while getting prospects. That's really the goal here. Let's take a look at the overall draft before we look at the draft pool. It's a 49 round draft. Yeah, so these are the players we have very high scouting accuracy on with pitchers. All players. Yeah, so potential wise, it looks like Bill. Wonder why Dave Parker's only a 3-star development here. But so we're going to start ads here in a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and run those, and we'll do the first year player draft and kind of go from there. We'll figure out where we can make some trades and improve the team for next season. I do want to slow play this, so we're going to do that. I'm going to run these ads. The YouTube side, you'll just have to do a BRB, and we'll be back in like 3 minutes. Okay, y'all, we're back. Appreciate y'all sitting through the ads. We're going to go ahead and do the first year draft. So we're going to go ahead and continue on. We do have the second overall pick, not the first, which I didn't think. Oh, I'm hitting some paper, I guess. We do have the second overall pick. I guess we were mistakenly earlier. Yep. 49 rounds, 1,200 players available. So we're going to go ahead and start the draft. First pick overall goes to Kansas City. Let's see who kind of they're thinking here. They take Rick Ruschel, pitcher. Probably going to be on their team next year. OSA likes him a lot. My scout likes him a lot. Pretty much all attributes are good. Ground ball pitcher. We have the second overall pick. Scouting recommendation is Darryl Porter, the catcher. I don't love him, and we're not going to take him. So I want to look at default. So if we looked at high ceilings here, if we wanted someone who we thought could contribute next year, Mickey Rivers might be our pick. High loyalty, high work ethic, can play center field, or actually he'd be more of a corner outfielder. I don't really like his corner outfield abilities here with his lack of overall power and eye. He ended up not being a great player overall. He did have a few good years, but not really the kind of player who would develop. But he would probably go ahead straight to the big leagues, as would Jim Barr. His lack of overall stuff would hurt him. That's kind of not, though he does have elite control and above average movement. So those are the two players we would consider here. We do have a slot of 50,000, so that's something we would have to consider. As far as these are according to our scout, Juan Beniquez, kind of above average center fielder, good range, below average error, so he would make a ton of errors. Not really great power numbers, but he is ready as far from a, let's see, Doug DeCinces, kind of the player I'm shooting for. I want to see how they actually go he ended up hitting 230 home runs across about 13 big league seasons. Solid player overall. That might be the pick I go for here because he's a good corner infielder. He has the frame to be a first baseman. And our first base situation right now, if we look at our team, we have Bill Sudeikis, who is already kind of a decent first baseman. So that's probably not really the move I want to make there. We do have to consider that somewhat, all players. So we're looking at maybe a Jim Barr here, who it would be an easy sign for us. He is pretty much ready for AAA. Right now. We're also looking at Dave Parker, obviously, but he has a high work ethic, good base runner. Who did he end up playing for? Pittsburgh, yeah. And he pretty much started in 73. Hall of Famer, obviously. 330 home runs. Um, but again, he's corner outfielder here. I thought he played first base, but so I'm thinking they want Daryl Porter. My issue with Daryl Porter is his defensive catching. He's only above average. He would be a development guy. His power's ready, but he would have to start pretty low. And I'm looking at his ratings defensively, and he cannot play any other position. So that's why I'm going to hold off. And he wants over slot. I don't want to go over slot at all. The other player I'm considering is Bill Madlock. Good offensive potential, above average contact, average gap power, above average contact, average power overall. Could be a solid third baseman, below average third baseman with his lack of arm. Maybe we could move him to first, but only 5'11". Again, he kind of fits sort of that. And he cannot play the outfield. He is a good base runner. I don't love his defense enough here to pull the trigger on him, even though I'm looking at a pretty good offensive player already. I'm kind of thinking Mickey Rivers here. He would have to get better in center field. But he's got the work ethic, he's got loyalty, he could pan out. Other players we could look at, Jerry Hairston. He could pan out at first or left, but he doesn't have the power to be the traditional kind of outfielder. Kind of don't want to consider anyone below 3 stars here. So Joe Nolan, high work ethic. Adam Devine, he's got some good stuff, but he's also a relief pitcher at 17. So I'm kind of leaning towards Mickey Rivers here and hoping that his defense pans out. He's already a good base runner. He doesn't have any power, though, which is very concerning for me. As someone, that's something I really value, but he's already kind of got a pretty low ceiling, a pretty high ceiling, and will develop into a pretty good defender. And he wants slot, which would be 50,000. The other player and Bill Madlock wants over slot, so it's really between Doug DeCinces and Mickey Rivers, I think. I kind of like Doug DeCinces overall too. He's got a little better attributes overall. But I just feel like if I get Mickey Rivers, he'll solve a lot of like contact issues, but he doesn't have any power. He doesn't walk either, which is important too. I also want to consider how they did IRL because this will run true to life, and I really don't. Okay. I think I'm going to take. I think I'm going to take Doug DeCences because he can play second or third. Can play first as well. I'll probably have to teach it. I may force play him at first base. So I'm going with Doug DeCences here. And I'm going to go ahead and draft him. We'll go ahead and run through the rest of the draft. Bill Madlock went third overall to the Padres. Dwight Evans went fourth to the Cubs. And Milwaukee takes John Denny. So we'll go ahead and auto pick. Jim Barr is still here. He's both the highest overall and the highest potential. Other players here, Adrian Devine, who is a reliever. Jim Barr, I actually think might be the pick here. He does have the things that matter to me in this run will be personality traits because of the kind of the volatility I'm introducing into player development. So I want people who I know will have the work ethic to improve. I think he does have only a $2,100 demand, so he would be very easy to sign. So I might go with Jim Barr here, and then that would allow me to go over slot for a few of these guys, like a Rod Gilbreth if I wanted to go the next round. Very intriguing prospect. I think I'm going to go Jim Barr here because he'll be kind of that mid-rotation guy for me. Not much stuff, but he is kind of a crafty. He's a crafty righty, which is kind of rare. He only throws about 90 miles an hour. He's got good stamina already. So I'm going Jim Barr. The scouting director recommends I take Jim Barr anyway, so we will make that move. Very easy. We're going to go scouting director. So now we go to the third round. We do have 49 rounds total, so this is going to be a long draft. Probably after a few rounds, we will just start going off scouting director because there's a lot of like junk in this draft. I will probably end up sorting by player attributes. Here, I'm going to take a look at some of these 2.5 stars. Dave Rosello, high loyalty, high work ethic, high intelligence. I think that's the pick here. He can play 3 positions, maybe average offensive numbers, average defensive numbers, good attributes. Probably a good pick here for me in the third round. We will go ahead and take him. He does have a $1,200 slot demand, so we are going under slot again. We'll auto pick again. Vic Harris is here again. Average. He can play infield or outfield. Nope, not much power again, but again, I'm looking more at like, okay, and I'll look at OSA also. OSA kind of is in line with what my scout thinks as well, even though maybe we should have put a scouting report on him, but looking down here at the 2 stars, Chuck Seelbach. Again, another guy with he's got a plus curveball, but a fly ball pitcher. So I'm gonna take a look at Vic Harris. High work ethic, low greed, good base runner, can play infield, outfield. Not the best offense player, so maybe we kind of avoid him for now. What about Bruce Boisclair for his position? Nope. Jesus De La Rosa, below average, but again, he's got a good work ethic. Let's see. Bill Flowers, really good base runner. Again, he's going to develop. He might develop into a good center fielder. Let's see. John Scott, another one with really good attributes. Scouting director recommends we take Doug Howard. No, we're not taking Doug Howard. He's a first baseman. He's got good power numbers, but I'm taking a look at low intelligence. So we will not draft Doug Howard. 2.5-star overall potential. Oh, you know why, right? I had a filter on. I was only considering players with high work ethic. Let's clear that. So we may have hecked this draft up. That's fine. But you know what? It's okay. Doug Howard's here. We got Pepe Mangwal here, but he's got bad attributes. I might actually introduce that filter because I want guys who would develop. And so we'll go ahead and introduce work ethic is high. And then also, okay, so we do have Booleans. Let's go with personality or choose. Let's go with Cross. Hello, how are you? Welcome in. I want to look at none of these are what I'm looking for. Work ethic. Oh, here we go. Intelligence is not low. There we go. So we're gonna sort these by intelligence, and yeah. So and here we got Rod Gilbreth, who is impossible, so we can't sign him. Vic Harris, again, average-ish. He's got a high floor, so that kind of matters to me a little bit. Second baseman. I would rather have players with high work ethic and intelligence, but if I have to choose one or the other, I will choose work ethic any day. So we'll go ahead and draft. They want me to draft Doug Howard. I don't want to draft him because this is all good. He'll probably end up playing for me next year, but the issue is low intelligence. Turns me off a little bit. So I'm going to take let's see. We could take Chuck Seelbach. I don't like taking relievers, not in this high in the draft. We're only in the fourth round. Fourth round of 49, you guys. We're going to be here a hot minute. But and we also have to worry about signability. So I'm thinking he's a better infielder than outfielder. But his offensive numbers aren't that great. I'm going to take Vic Harris. Because he could play the outfield too. So we're going to take Vic Harris. And again, I'm going to look at who the scouting director, Rod Gilbreth. As much as I want to take him, he is not really signable. He does have an impossible signability. Um, they seem to think he's going to college, so we can't really do anything with him. So I'm going to look down here at some of these 2-stars, maybe Tommy Smith, who is a plus defender, not really great offensively. I might go ahead and clear the filters real fast. Well, let me go ahead and save the filter. There, we'll just save that real fast. That way I can come back to it. Let's clear these filters real fast. The top player is Paul Dade, who is a third baseman. All of his low attributes are actually centered around greed and leadership. He's probably not a great clubhouse guy. That's enough red flags for me not to take him. Let's go to let's see. I might end up taking he's a little on the greedy side. Let's bring my filters back. I think I like my filters. Daniel Adams could be a really good second baseman, shortstop. Can't hit for a lick though, which is fine. Run prevention matters, especially in these days when you could really save some runs by not committing so many errors. So we may bring in Daniel Adams. Jack Pierce is another one. Oh, well, I like his gap power. Pull hitter. I think I'm going to take John Scott here. I like his defensive base running. Moving on. We are now in round 6. Cesar Diaz. No personality, so to speak. He's a reliever. I'm not too keen on relief pitchers, especially one with below average across the board. So we'll go through mine. Bill Flowers is here. Again, good base runner, good defender. I'll go ahead and take a flyer on Bill Flowers. We're in round 7. Not a pick I like here, John Klitzner. So we'll go ahead and take a look at, I think if I'm going to take someone, I'm going to take Jesus De La Rosa with his gap power and ability to play left. He's from Georgia Tech too. He's 16. Okay, auto draft. Chico Ruiz. I might take here. I think at this point you just got to look at signability too. But they all want slot, so. Oh. Nice. Apparently, Suribot added best viewers on to my block list. So, good job, Suribot, on the Twitch side. All right, Daniel Adams is another. He's kind of another nice defensive prospect. Not very loyal, but he's adaptable and work ethic. Solid base runner. Let's go. Let's see. Louis Bagwell. He can't hit. He's 22 and he can't hit. Let's see. Russ Bennett. What I might do here is take a look at players who are ready. Russ Bennett, below average at pretty much every position. He could be a good outfielder though, but he's not going to develop any offense unless he works at it. What about Scott Neat? I'm looking at people who aren't relievers. Don Schultes. All right, most of these players are relief pitchers, so we'll go ahead and go back to potential. I think I'm going to take Daniel Adams. Again, we got to build up our team anyways, so. He really likes Chico Ruiz here. Again, I don't know why. Could develop into a solid outfielder, though. I might. Well, okay. He's not signable. We'd have to develop some of these guys up, wouldn't we? Yeah. Donald Dudley is a solid pick here, but I'm going to go ahead and take Louis Bagwell. I think, you know what? Sometimes you got to throw a bone to your scouting director. So we're going to do that here. Chico Ruiz, he's really pushing for Chico. So we're going to draft him. Sometimes you got to appease your scouting director and take guys you wouldn't normally draft. So Randy Beach is his next one. High work ethic. He's got, looks like a center field prospect. We do need some center fielders, so I'm going to go ahead and take Randy Beach. Again, we're kind of in that position of the draft where we need just... All right, so we'll consider Stanley Jackson next. Good batting eye. He's probably not going to be much more than a first baseman. He can steal bases, too. But we'll take a look at what's here. Russ Bennett. probably not as good. Richard Brown, who is a good base runner, could be a good solid player. So I'm going to take Richard Brown here. A lot of Richard Browns. We got Mark Brown, Richard Brown, Richard Boosby. Like, are these real players? We'll take center fielder Richard Brown. He's 21. Will probably not hit much, but he'll be a good defensive bat somewhere. Scouting director recommends Stanley Johnson. We'll go ahead and take him. He doesn't have any red flags as far as personality goes. As long as they don't have any red flags, I think I am fine with taking them. Edwards Cezedo. Ooh. Starting pitcher, a lot of green. Low adaptability, though. He has decent stamina. He could develop into like 3. He already has 3 above average pitches. We would have to work on his control a bit, but I think that might not be a terrible one here. We'll keep that in mind. I think he'll still be around in the next round. I'm going to take Richard Boosby here, though. He can play like 4 positions. He can play a bunch of positions. Again, the same guy we looked at the last round. I'll go ahead and take him. Donald Dudley. He's someone we looked at in the last round. I'll go ahead and take him too. We've looked at him throughout the draft. Terry Mappin is a catcher. He can play a bunch of positions. I like it. I like the position flexibility here. We'll go with that. Gary Gandy. High work ethic. 1.5 star rating. A lot of green. Some blues. Not much of a hitter, though. High intelligence. So I might add another Boolean into my terms here, but I like Marion Jackson here. I'm going to go ahead and take him. Dennis Primo. Second, third base type. Let's see what's out there. Let's see what's on my. We have Michael Chapman here. About Leonard Davis. May take Weldon Johnson can only play catcher. I think I'm going to take David Prest here. Again, he likes Dennis Primo. We'll go ahead and take him. Eddie Wheeler, low adaptability. He's got some average-ish. Again, he's got some ability to play all positions. So I think we'll probably just go ahead and sim through the rest of this draft. David Pavic, low intelligence. Probably won't draft him, even though he's got pretty good defensive ratings at 3 positions. Low intelligence, though. Raymond Lombardo could be a good catcher, as is Weldon Johnson. I think I'm going to take Weldon Johnson here. Hank Hyde. No red flags, but he is probably at the top of his potential. We do need pitching depth, but we'll go ahead and take him. Because, again, it's not like any of these players are going to really do anything. Low intelligence, so we'll probably not draft him. Because I think I'm going to draft James Clark here. Actually, no, I'm not going to draft James Clark. See, Michael Smith, low intelligence. We had him in the last round. I'm not going to take him. But Terry Neltwell. They really want me to draft Michael Smith, don't they? They really want me to draft Michael Smith. But I don't want to. I might take Sly Swindler here, who's got a little bit above average stuff. Might be a valuable, like, you know, quad A player or something. But yeah, Sly Swindler. What about Clifford Ballou? Mm. I think what I'm gonna do is just take like Michael Graham here. What I'm gonna do is actually just start taking some of these like half-star relievers like Miguel Sosa. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of just drafting attributes at this point. So and now what I'll do is let my scouting director, because right now, like Kenneth Stolmeyer, like a pretty adaptable to half-star player, can play the outfield too. We're in the 39th round, so it's not like anybody I'm drafting is gonna like, as long as they're not like huge red flag types, like low intelligence, probably. But low intelligence won't break your clubhouse. So like he might be a little disruptive, but as long as they don't have like too many red flags, we'll take them. We're about done now. All right. So that's the end of the draft. We'll go ahead and look at our draftees. Um, Fortunately, we can take on. Well, we got to look at Bill Flowers. He was another one where he wants 34,000 a sign. Um, so we'll have to look at that one in a minute, but we'll first look to this 50,000. We'll submit that offer. 2,100, 1,200. We went over slot for Vic Harris. That's fine. Over slot for him. And then we went over slot for Chico Ruiz too. So here's the thing: if he wants 38,000 to sign, is he worth it? I'm saying no, but you never know. Okay. Um, I'll go ahead and meet the demand. We'll see if he actually takes it. So now we go to roster transactions. Now we have a little bit of a system developing, where now we have players at all levels. That's good. So we just finished the player draft. Let's look at the trading block. I think it shouldn't change, but we'll go ahead and go to tomorrow. Okay. So we signed a couple players. Our 5th and 1st round pick. We are about 4 minutes away from running out, so I'm gonna go ahead and stall. And what we'll probably go ahead and do is go ahead and do the let's go. Actually, let's take a look at offseason center free agents. Again, there's not much in the free agent market. There never is, but because free agency didn't exist in 1970. But so what we're gonna do is take a look at the trading block and see who we can trade for that would make our team better. We do have a little bit of money to take on. So what we'll do now is set up the rest of the offseason, see who we have. Let's check the player development right now. It hasn't changed much. But I think what I'm going to do is I got to use the restroom, and we got about 2 minutes away from ads. So I'm just going to run a 5-minute ad break. So we'll be back in 5 minutes. Y'all enjoy some ads. I'm going to take a quick break. I'm also getting kind of hungry, but I don't have anything to eat really. So I'll be back in a little bit. We don't have a lot of off-season left, so we'll probably just take a look at the trading block. Let me see. I think what I'm going to do is sim. All right, we're back from ads. We just finished the draft. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and make sure that all of our players get in. Bill Flowers is signed on. Chico Ruiz, he signed on. I believe he was one that we really wanted to 10th round pick. We'll go ahead and start at the winter meetings. All right, so the winter meetings are here. Draftees, we still got a few players pending. I think we signed the players we wanted to sign, so not bad. Looking at the trading block, let's see if there's anybody on the trading block we want to get. And I'm not really going to consider anyone who won't make my team immediately better. Okay, let's see. Kind of want to take a look at pitching and see if there's any pitching help. Gary Peters is here. Fly ball pitcher. May not fly in my park, but he would make $220,000. We do have quite a bit of money to spend, I think. We do have... How much budget do I have? No. So as you can see, I got quite a bit of like mediocrity here. As you can see, most teams have way more in terms of ceilings than I do, and we can't rely on free agency. So this is why I'm kind of like first few years are going to be a bit of a struggle. Let's see. Let's see what it would take to get a Gary Peters. Pretty much top prospects. Yeah. So. Let's use my work ethic filter here. We got... These are players who've been given their outright release, so... But, I mean, Fred Gladding would probably help us out. So, I'm going to make an offer for him. He wants $60K a year. He would help my bullpen out tremendously. As you can see, I don't have a lot here. He does have, you know, solid across the board. He pitched for Houston for a little bit. They granted him, they released him, so I'll probably make a move for him. Non-guaranteed. So we'll get $58,000 for him. Not really anybody here who would improve my major league teams, so I'm not going to really troll that market. I do think we should make a trade though, looking at kind of our batters here. Um, Go infielders and not designated hitter. Um, like these two are going to start in the minors. I mean, they all should start in the minors. So I really need like a second, third shorts player. So we'll take a look at that in the trading block. Let's go to the trading block. Um, let's see if we can swing a deal for Ron Hansen. We would have to give up Bill Sudeikis, which I'm not real keen on. He's one of my only few guys who can hit home runs in the lineup, so we'll probably pass on that trade. Um, Eddie Matthews is also available. We might be able to swing him for not a lot. So there's not really a lot of good trade options that I'm really all that excited about right now. Here, um, not really all that excited about these trades. What we could do is put some players on the block and see if maybe we can draw some interest. So I think that's what I'll do. So, for instance, we could put. I mean, again, it's not like these players are all that good, but well, he's a captain, so he's our captain. So I'm not going to trade him just yet. I don't know who my. We have Charlie Vincent also who can be a captain. So we got to hope that some of these guys in the minors develop. Um, these two especially. Yeah. We kind of fleeced a couple teams in there, so but let's see. Um, and then we'll take a look at outfielders. Outfielders. We could swing. They're all fairly young. Lee Thomas. We'll see what if we can draw any interest from him. Um, then pitching, obviously. Steve Barber. We'll put him on the block. And we'll put Belinsky on the block. Dick Lyons on the block. Again, I don't think these guys will bring me any value, but you never know, right? Jim O'Toole on the block. So, like, for instance, Jim O'Toole, like, if we traded for him, right? If we traded him away, like, let's shop him around, right? What's available? See, not a lot. We could, Kenneth Lang. That could actually work out, but he is a reliever. So, he's a reliever with a 5 ERA in AAA. Not much in the way of potential. So, prospects, nothing. So that's probably what we're dealing with here. We got Fred Gladding. He was a. Oh wait, no, we don't. He's yeah. He's the free agent we're going after. Top free agent. He's a reliever. Let's sim a day. Okay. All right, let's look at it. Darrell Thomas. Pretty much a waste of time getting him to improve in center. Still a 50 overall, but that's quite unfortunate because he doesn't really hit well enough to warrant anything. But I'm seeing, potential power rating has gone up. So potential rating has improved from 2.5 to 3 stars. So maybe we might be onto something with him anyways. So I did buff a couple ratings. So, but let's go to player development. We do have one spot open in the new practice facility now. We could put Doug DeSenses here, our first round pick, high work ethic. Let's go ahead and put him in. Let's see what we can develop out of him early. Why not? If we can get him. Let's try to improve his contact or his defense. Let's improve his defense at or maybe learn actually contact. There we go. So we'll look at that in the offseason. Why not? Let's try to improve our picks. All right, here we go. Jim Barr. Has signed. He will start probably in AAA. Yeah. I may have to move some guys around a little bit. I may have to move some guys around. Let's see. Let's look at the trade-in block. I still don't think there's anyone who will make this team better that I will like. Steve Hamilton's here, a reliever. Maybe we swing a trade for Jim Bunning, but at 38, I don't think he would. Yeah. So again, it's not. We just have a dearth of options right now. Like I don't have a lot of players who I can really trade. Let's up the value on him. We'll go to 81,000. Okay, Dave Rossello has signed. Shortstop, third round pick. What I'll do now is take a look at my player list here, and we'll go. Let's see. Anyone who's at least 3 stars, I will give development treatment to. So he does not need to do that, and his control is already really good. So we'll actually do his at regression, and I want to improve his stuff and movement. So we'll go teal on stuff, and then let's go there. And then let's see. Doug DeSenses, again, pretty much. I want to improve his eye, but my main interest is improving his power, so yeah. So okay. Winter meetings are over. We didn't really make any moves because honestly I don't think there's a lot of moves I can make right now because there's just not a lot. I don't have a lot of trade. I don't have a lot of pieces I want to trade, and there's not a lot in the trading block for me. So I think what we'll do is trade for another. We'll go for another week. There we go. All right, so we got Vic Harris on. Let's still look at the trading block. So it looks like we're going to be running pretty rough next year. I've still got a lot of players who aren't major league caliber on my team. Like Jim Barr will start the season in AAA. We're going to start him in AAA. And then we'll also start Gene Garber probably in AAA, even though he's pretty close to being big league ready now. I'm going to start him in AAA next year. And then maybe that's it. I mean, that's as far as pitching goes. Batters. Darrell Thomas will start probably in AA, AAA, somewhere in that range. And then let's just okay. So Hall of Fame voting begins. Let's vote for the Hall of Fame. Richie Ashburn, he'll be on there. Roy Campanella. Minnie Minoso was a Hall of Famer in my book. Um, yeah, we'll submit a ballot. There we go. We always like to submit a ballot. Okay. So we'll go ahead and speed run this through the rest of the offseason. There's not really much. I mean, Vic Davali. I mean, let's see what it would take to get him. Because I would like a elite center fielder. Let's see what it would take. I still would have to give up. Well, I mean, these are 2.5-star prospects. Like, Ron Dunn's a 2.5-star prospect. So, especially since he can't really play he's a third base left fielder. So maybe we can trade him for a center field piece. What's our center field situation look like right now? Yeah, Cesar Geronimo is my best center fielder, and he's not. He can't hit. He's going to be in the minors. All right, Cross. Thank you for hanging out. Have a good day at work. Yep. Appreciate you. Okay, so we could. Cesar Geronimo is not really ready yet. He's about the closest thing I've got. Darrell Thomas isn't ready yet either, even though he's kind of close. So what I'm thinking about doing is going ahead and making this trade for Vic Davalillo. He's a fan favorite, so he'll kind of help us sell a few tickets. He can play all outfield positions. He's a good contact hitter and can run the bases. So I'm fine with trading Ron Dunn for him because I'm looking at my only concern is he is 33. He's got all the attributes too. So I'm thinking about making that, and then or we trade Pete Makinen here, who may not develop. Or even Tavares. Maybe Frank Tavares would be. I might trade Dunn, actually. I don't want to trade Geronimo. Let me see some. I want to see how he ended up being a fairly mediocre player. So we're going to trade Ron Dunn here. And then we're going to see what else we can kind of extract from the Yankees. They have Gary Matthews in their system. We probably don't have a way. We probably won't be able to get him. Yeah, we would have to trade. Well, you know what? Maybe not. Let's see. What about Wayne Nordhagen? Mario Guerrero. Yeah. Let's see. Let's do this trade. We'll get Robert Carson back, who can play a few positions. Not a great hitter, but he might develop. Low intelligence, though. Okay, there we go. All right. So that does that, and then let's go. Let's just send until next week. All right, the Rule 5 draft is soon, so we'll actually, what we'll probably do is finalize draftee signings. All right, so we're good there. And we'll just sim through the Rule 5 draft. And what we'll do is end the stream on the Rule 5 draft. Because I can just sim the rest of the offseason, because I'm not going to do anything. All right. So, I don't think there was anyone. Wait a minute. Oh, shoot. You know what? Oh, yeah. I don't care if any of those guys get taken. All right. So, we'll draft. Let's see if. Okay. All players. Gary Geiger is here. I mean, he's not a great player, but he could provide us a little bit of help. Let's see if the scouting. They recommend John Sipin, though, who is a second baseman. I don't really love him. He's got good gap power, though. Problem is, we would have to carry him on our major league roster for the whole season. Yeah. We have John Sipin, who actually never made it to the big leagues. So why would I take him here? I think I'm going to skip this round. Because Or we could take on like Vic Correll from the Braves, high work ethic. Um, yeah. So I think I'm going to actually skip the Rule 5 draft altogether because really the only player I could take is Vic Correll or Gary Geiger. Um, yeah. Draft is finished. So what I want to do now is we got a center fielder now for next year, right? We got to improve our pitching staff. Right now, the best, if we look at our staff, we have Jack Bellingham, Garber, who might start in AAA, Gelnar, right. But it's starting pitching. Ed Figueroa probably needs to be in the minors till we can develop him a little bit. He did pitch a little bit. He will start in the minors, actually. But we need to get one starting pitcher and probably a middle infielder. So let's take a look at what's there. Let's waiver wire, nothing there. Player trade, let's go to trading block. Milt Papas might be a good one for us. Like he's got good control. Like 2.5-star player. Has been decent for various teams, like, but or even like well, Steve Barber's ours, so well, he won't be a good pick. Let's see what we could get for Milt Papas. Yeah, okay, so he could be had. Probably don't want to give up Ed Figueroa or Geronimo. Asking price might be a little high here. So what about Jim Cott? I mean, we could trade Tavares, but that'd be a... I don't think that would be a very wise signing either. But, let's see, Jim Bunning. Yep. But Gary Peters. I mean, if we wanted to trade Tom Walker, I mean, we could make that work, but kind of want to see how he works on my team for next year, for the next couple of years, as we kind of puff up our bullpen. So we'll probably just have to attack the waiver wire a bit to look for pieces. We may just have to accept the fact we'll be bad next year. So what I'll just do is sim through the end of the year. All right, we got Fred Gladding on, so we at least got some bullpen help. We'll go ahead and put him here. So now if we look at our pitching staff, okay, we got a solid bullpen. So if anything else, we can kind of wing the rotation a bit. How did he do in real life? He pitched for a long time. Mostly as a reliever. So we'll go to the end of the year. And then we'll just... There we go. All right, so we're in 1970, and I think that's a good stopping point. We haven't really added a lot. We added a center fielder we drafted, but I'm going to go here, and I'm going to call this for today because I'm kind of hungry. I'll be back on tomorrow. We're going to play more Stardew tomorrow, and I think what I'm going to do is figure out how to do a stream on TikTok. So we'll do that. But I'll see y'all around. I don't have the button handy, but join the Discord if you would mind. Also on the YouTube side. I don't think I have that command handy. No, I don't have anything handy. Thanks for y'all for joining on, if you joined here or YouTube. The YouTube stream will be up forever. But here, so yeah, it's going to be another tough year for us next year. But I will see y'all tomorrow night. Y'all have a good rest of the day. Thanks for joining.